Ladies and gentlemen, late night Oni bomb, Oni that makes all of us nice and horny has dropped a bomb. I mean, look, not really a massive bomb, but nonetheless, some news coming on in regards to Christian Pulisic. We have some update in regards to Caicedo. Fabrizio Romano did promise that something was going to happen over the next, well, this was 2 days ago, or maybe even 3 days ago, saying over the next 24 to 48 hours has given us some bit of update. And I want to touch up on Euros under 21, I believe, in regards to Michaela Mudryk, Liwa Colwell, Nani Madueke. Let's go! All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin. All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. We've got now someone obviously very, very legitimate in the journalism industry, dropping some information in regards to Christian Pulisic. Obviously, Fabrizio Romano has talked about Christian Pulisic in recent times, but there hasn't been so much push for this particular player as yet. We know so far that there's been a personal terms that's been agreed between Christian Pulisic and AC Milan, but the valuation is way off between the two clubs. So we need for that to be accelerated over the next week or couple of weeks. I would prefer it to be wrapped up in this upcoming week. So this is the latest, ladies and gentlemen. AC Milan in direct contact with Chelsea about signing Christian Pulisic. Verbal offer for 24-year-old in region of 14 million euros. Paltry, man. Paltry sum. Personal terms, no issue, but Chelsea value attacker higher, plus also interest from elsewhere. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I think the 14 million is definitely a little bit disrespectful for the caliber of player like Christian Pulisic. I understand his stocks are low. I get it that his injuries are a massive concern. Availability is not his strongest suit. But I thought that we could potentially get something in the region of what we've got for Ruben Loftus-Cheek. So if we can perhaps bridge the gap and get a similar fee the way we've got for Ruben Loftus-Cheek, I think then there is potentially a deal here. Now, the issue in this situation is that AC Milan have other players lined up as well. They're not absolutely hellbound on getting Christian Pulisic. That's why the offer is low. And similarly with us, we're not hell-bound to sell the player to AC Milan. We just seem to have a very good relationship with them in recent times, with obviously Tomori, Giroud, and of course the most recent one being Ruben Loftus-Cheek, that we're happy to do business with this side of Milan as opposed to that side of Milan, if you know what I'm talking about. So, look, I think, first of all, Christian Pulisic needs to go. There is no space for him at Chelsea Football Club. I believe he's probably got another season left in his contract, so he has to go now. And this valuation is a bit of a joke, 14 million. If we can get somewhere around what we got for Ruben Loftus-Cheek in the likes of 20 million euros, add-ons included, I think it's going to be a deal. I know Chelsea's looking for about 25 million, but we need to compromise as well. AC Milan definitely need to compromise a little bit and come a bit forward than 14 million. So let's see what happens if this particular news does come into fruition, ladies and gentlemen. But I want to touch up on this particular news before we move on to the next topics. Up to 10 more players could leave Chelsea in July on permanent or loan. Chalobah, Sarr, Ziyech, Malang Sarr, still a Chelsea player. Wow. Ziyech, Pulisic, Aubameyang, Caicedo, Baba Rahman. How's Baba Rahman still a Chelsea player? That's quite mad. Spilicueta, Hudson-Odoi, and some more names as well. So we saw the first phase of selling, and it's been a fantastic first phase of selling. Kudos to Chelsea owners, kudos to the Chelsea board, everyone that's been involved to get that first phase of players out of Chelsea Football Club. But we do still have quite a bit of work left to get a whole heap of other players that needs to go as well. So we're potentially going to raise, the figure that's getting touted around is another 100 million out of these players can possibly be raised again. So hopefully we can see that. Chelsea and AC Milan have big gap for Christian Pulisic. Chelsea won 25 million. AC Milan started conversation around 12.8 million, 15 million euros. This is coming from Fabrizio Romano. So massive gap in valuation. As I said, 25 million, it probably doesn't sound too bad from Chelsea's point of view, but in this market, we're probably going to have to do some level of compromise with AC Milan and AC Milan as well. That's a bit of a low ball figure. So they need to come into the party and give us something a little bit better than that. Okay, next up, ladies and gentlemen, Chelsea are expected to announce their farewell to Cesar Azpilicueta over the next week. After terminating his contract, the Spaniard will be free to pass the medical test and sign for Atletico. Kudos to Cesar Azpilicueta that he's been able to get this, transfer over the line for himself, and great gesture from us as well to terminate his contract and not hassle over and haggle over a couple of £1 million towards Inter Milan or even, in this case, Atletico Madrid. So it's good to see that we've been able to terminate his contract and let him free, and I guess a gesture of saying that you're an absolute legend. You have been an absolute legend for Chelsea Football Club. So that's another player that's going to be out of our books, which is also great to see. And kudos to Azpilicueta and best luck to him for his future endeavors. And I thank him for his services 100%. Now, some incomings in regards to Caicedo. Breaking: Chelsea and Brighton are now talking about Caicedo. New contacts next week. Chelsea will go strong. They do not want a long negotiation. We don't want a long negotiation as well. I hope Brighton don't get too fancy with asking for Levi Colwill in return. And also, I hope they don't have one eye on what happened with West Ham and Declan Rice and Arsenal and the amount of fee that was being able to be obtained from that transaction. I hope they don't start feeling that maybe Caicedo deserves that. They have to understand they promised Caicedo they would let him go this summer. Caicedo wanted to go in January. He stayed around, and they promised they will let him go. So I hope that holds some value, and I hope that makes them a little bit softer when it comes to negotiation. That, hey, you've promised the player, as opposed to Declan Rice and West Ham. Yeah, they always knew that Declan Rice was going to leave, but there wasn't any promise that, we're going to let you go this summer. In this case, there was a promise made between Brighton and Caicedo, and I hope that Caicedo has told Brighton that, hey, don't be pushing around for 100 million, this, that, the other, and don't make it a huge, negotiation transfer saga out of this. I would love to see Caicedo come to Chelsea Football Club during this preseason. 100% need him to create that combination with Enzo Fernandez, need him to gel in with the Chelsea squad and be up and running for the preseason matches, and come that first game against Liverpool, be absolutely ready. So look, Fabrizio Romano has been talking about a price tag of about 80 million, and I hope we can strike that deal. I'm a bit weary. I'm a bit weary with Brighton. Obviously, the player has said yes to us, and it seems like it's a clear-cut road to Caicedo now. No one else is interested at the moment. Man United, they've got Mason Mount, and they're looking at Andre Onana at the moment. So I don't know if they've got enough budget to go for Caicedo. Liverpool got their focus on, obviously, they've got themselves a McAllister, Szoboszlai. Liverpool's doing a bit of madness. I need to talk about Liverpool in my second channel. And now they're focusing on Romeo Lavia. So they're not in the conversation for Caicedo. Newcastle got themselves Sandro Tonali. So I think we've got a clear-cut shot. Arsenal obviously getting Declan Rice. So we've got a clear-cut shot on Caicedo, and we need to wrap this up immediately. Onana and Mike Maignan are too expensive for Chelsea. They are looking for backup goalkeeper who can also help in rotation with Kepa. See, I'm not entirely sure how I feel about this. I've made it quite obvious in the past few weeks that Kepa's a good keeper, but there's flaws, man. There's distinct flaws. And moving next season with Kepa, I truly hope it works out. I wish him the best. And I know, Pochettino is bringing in his own goalkeeper coaches and this, that, the other. And they fully believe that they can get something out of Kepa. No problems. Kudos, man. I like the confidence that you're showing to Kepa. But to move away from targets like Onana and Mike Maignan, this would have been a top statement signing, in my opinion, to have a solid goalkeeper and really start building that backbone with, Onana or Mike Maignan. Then you've got Levi Colwill. Obviously, you've still got Thiago Silva and many other very, very competent central defenders. And then you've got the midfield of Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo. and slowly are building the backbone. But without one of these goalkeepers, who I feel are now two of the best in the world, I mean, we're banking a lot on Kepa to do the trick for us. So, look, let's see what happens. I understand maybe there is a bit of restraints in regards to how much we want to spend. There might be some budget restraints. We are spending a lot of money on Caicedo, and probably much important to do that, to spend that level of money for Caicedo. Some people have been saying on social media that, hey, we've been buying all of these kids, I think nearly 100 million worth of kids. Maybe we should have spent a bit of that on a top-notch goalkeeper. But look, sometimes we need to understand, man. I mean, there are future windows to come, and we have to prioritize. I thought goalkeeper was a big priority, but Chelsea probably having a look at that, building up for the future is very important. Making sure that we get those youngsters right away now, as opposed to losing out on them. And we'll see. And obviously, the midfield was very, very important. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, for our sister club, Strasbourg, official Patrick Vieira is the new manager of Strasbourg. This is the first appointment of the new ownership group, BlueCo, for the French side. So huge news. I like this. I absolutely like Patrick Vieira as the manager of Strasbourg. Fantastic midfielder back in his days. And I thought he did a very, very good job for when he was at Crystal Palace. So look, back to his native country. He's going to be in the lookout for the gems around French League. And also, we're going to be sending some players to him. So, making Strasbourg somewhat competitive. And at the same time, hopefully he can develop some of our players as well, the young players. So this is good. I like this appointment. Let me know, ladies and gentlemen, in the comment section, what you feel about Patrick Vieira being the manager of Strasbourg. I absolutely think this is quite exciting. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk a little bit about Euros under 21. Shout out to Michaela Mudryk, got himself won a penalty, got a fantastic assist. Do check that out. Nice, I think from his own half, putting a nice long ball for his striker, which was a fantastic finish from the striker as well, but brilliant assist. So gets himself a penalty where he dribbled once again from halfway line into the penalty box, got himself a penalty and got that assist. Levi Colwell got himself a clean sheet for England, who moves on to the semi-finals of the Euro under-21s. Noni Madueke apparently had a decent outing as well. So look, some really, really good performances in Euro under-21s. And look, there's a lot of hype again building up for Michaela Mudryk. I just have to say, people, calm down, calm yourself down. He's still very raw, and there needs to be a hell of a lot of development that needs to happen in this upcoming season. So I'm still calm about the whole situation. I can see that he's got the underlying skill set to be an absolute baller, but let's just calm ourselves down. Let me know everything that we've talked about in the comment section, how you feel about that. Smash the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Till next time, see you.